Hey everyone, it's Chrissy with Late to Finance MD coming to you with a kind of random video, not in my plans. I had a kind of layout of what I wanted to do for my first few YouTube videos, so I'm a new YouTuber. But I was watching YouTube on my treadmill, which is my favorite kind of after work activity. And I was watching one of the financial YouTubers just talk about how she was late to finance or late to investing, and she was 27. And that made me laugh. And then it kind of made me just consider, all the things I'm saying on my channel about my being late to finances and everything. I talk about my financial awakening at like 36 years old. And I realized that for some people, it's much later than that. It's just so funny to be at that age where when people start talking about investing, they compare the 20-something-year-old who has invested like $2,000 and then doesn't invest ever again and makes a certain amount of money, and then they compare it to the 30 or 40 something who invests a certain amount of money, like 2K every month, for like 20 years and still ends up with way less than that 20 something who invested $2,000 one time. And it's just funny to be the person, to be the caricature, or to be that little animated example that's in everybody's financial example of why it's so important to invest early. So I just made me, going back to the YouTuber who was talking about, you know, she's being late to investing at 27. It just makes you realize how different everybody's tracks are, and how you have to be just more comfortable with where you're at. I when I was 36 and I finally learned about investing and learned about finances in general and started saving money, I was like looking towards the future, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna hopefully retire early. I'm gonna be pretty frugal. I'm going to invest my money, and hopefully by like 55 or 50, honestly. It's probably younger than that. Now, that I'm 43, I realize that, with what I have saved, I'm not, and with what I want to have in retirement, 50, before 55 is probably not happening for me. And that is a bitter pill to swallow. But that also makes me think about, everybody's just on different stages in their journey. And it is so true that comparison is a thief of joy. Because I remember I started saving and learning a lot about finance. I was After I saved, I don't know, it was like maybe $1,000, maybe 2,000, whatever it was. I just remember feeling so more secure, maybe even more adult, just like I have this money that, if my car breaks down, if something happens, I don't have to go ask my mother, I don't have to ask my father. Like, I can do something and take care of myself. And I guess in my early days, it was just me, I don't know, thinking that I was going to be rescued, or or having somebody, or my parents, somebody to fall back on always. And then to have that reckoning after saving, realizing that I can save myself, was great. And then, fast forward to a little later at 40, when I paid off all of my student loans, and just like had that, extra income to invest, but also the feeling that I kind of beat down this huge debt that I thought that I was going to have to carry forever. And just little by little, I whittle it down. And I think that's the same thing for us in, above 40. It's just by little, we're going to save and create a good future for ourselves. And, try to increase the gap between our income and our expenses. And, it might not be that we're retiring fully at, early as some of the people who are 20 who are going to actually be able to retire early. But it can be that we're getting to a place where we're comfortable. We still need an income, but we are working less. We're not working like necessarily 40 hours a week. I guess my point is that you really have to be where you are, do the things day to day. If, you know, retiring at some point and living well are important to you, just decreasing your expenses where you can, but still living a good life, and like increasing your income, obviously, but or just utilizing your income in ways that make you happy, and get you to your goal. So can't compare to anyone. Everybody has an unfair advantage in some way. Everybody has, you know, luck in some way. You just have to keep moving forward, towards the goal that you want to achieve, and really enjoy that day to day. So anyway, I'm trying to make myself feel better. Hopefully I've made some of you feel better. But if you're not where you thought you'd be or where you want to be at the age you currently are, just keep doing the things. That's all you can do. And stop comparing yourself to others.